In our recent series, Creativity with Food and Art, we met Bobby Flowells and we talked about his favorite food. And he told me,
Sinigang is my all-time favorite. Argue with me, I will fight you. Man, what you got going here?
Alright, man,
What
I'm not
is
hungry.
this?
alright, bro, so make you
Yo,
something.
hold on.
I know you've seen the stories, but basically, this is what we did. So you kept talking about sinigang being your favorite thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, alright, he loves sinigang. I love sinigang. But you're a Cali kid, so I'm like, alright, let's make some like a taco type thing, you know?
This is
and instead of changing from taco, it's like a quesadilla. So we got like a birria, queso birria inspired sinigang quesadilla, I guess.
What,
We have
bro?
a
You
pork
need to put
sinigang
this on the
broth.
menu.
You gotta try it first. Your shirt. What thoughts? What do you think?
What the f, man? Bro, I just had like a ratatouille moment, man.
That's it.
When like homeboy closed his eyes and fucking, he just goes back in time, man.
Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this queso birria sinigang quesadilla that we made with Bobby Flowells in our episode of Creativity with Food and Art. I'm going to start off by making like a basic sinigang broth with chicken stock, sinigang packet, and then you can add your own tamarind in there. Just make it however you would make it, and then we're just going to braise a pork belly in there. Add a little water to cover the skin, and then we're going to flip it over and let this pork belly braise for about an hour and a half. We want to make sure it braised, not boiling. So that means under boiling. That means there shouldn't be as many bubbles as you saw here. We're going to remove the bones and let it sit in our fridge overnight. We're going to prepare our garnishes. This is tomato concasse. So you don't have to do this. You can just dice tomatoes if you like, but I'm just taking the skin off the tomatoes and I'm going to mix it with these diced onions here. I blanched the tomatoes for about 10 seconds and then shocked them in ice water. Once they're shocked in ice water, I'm going to remove the skin and then cut the pulp out. I'm going to save that for like a tomato sauce, and I'm just going to dice these up into nice little squares. This is just me being bougie and extra. This is definitely something that you don't need to do. You can just dice up a tomato. I have some jasmine rice that's cooking, and then now I'm going to prepare my tortillas. Using corn flour or masa, I'm going to mix the pork broth that I made last night. Not the broth itself, but just the fat that came on top. And I'm going to use that to kind of turn this into our tortilla. Now I roll them out flat and then just give them a nice little pan sear and dry heat. Once the lechon has been sitting overnight, as you can see, it dried up, and we're going to score the skin so it's easy to cut and put it in the oven 400 degrees for 30 minutes and then let it render at 350 degrees for 2 hours. And it should be nice and juicy like this. The color did get a little dark, but it didn't taste burnt at all. Also, if you want to braise the pork belly in a different braise, that'd be great. The reason why it has this color is because of the sinigang soup mixture. Has a little bit of sugar in there, and it caramelized and it kind of burnt on the outside. So there's that, and there's a baby. Great. So we have our tortillas that we made, and then we're going to melt on some pepper jack cheese. Apparently my wife says that I should melt the cheese in the pan and then add the tortilla. So I'm going to do both. Add cheese down into a pan, non-stick, add your tortilla, add your cheese on top. And then we're going to add that cooked jasmine rice just because I feel like it needs some body. And then we took that pork belly that we made earlier and just chopped it up and threw it into our quesadilla with some more cheese and the tortilla on top. Gave it a nice little press, and once it's cooked on one side, we're going to give it a flip. And it's flipped and it's ready to go. Give it a cut and we're ready to serve. Psych, we need to heat up our broth. So in our broth cup, we're going to add the tomatoes, the onions, some shredded pork as well, and pour that sinigang broth in here. So this is very aromatic, super like fatty from the pork and sour from the tamarind and spices. Super delicious. This was like, it makes like no sense, but at the same time it was like made all the sense you could ask for. It was cheesy, the fattiness from the pork was cut by the sour broth, and then cheese and pork is just like great on a taco. And even my son wanted some. But guess what? This is not for you. Make this recipe and let me know what you guys think. And subscribe for more recipes like this. I'm Joshua Walbolt, and I know you love food. Let's see if we can get you to love food more.